I was around 13 years old when I overheard a conversation with a group of people that I didn't know talking about the recent episode of a sci-fi show I'd never heard of. I don't exactly remember what they said, but it must have left quite an impression, because as soon as I got home, I rushed to my family computer and bought the first season of the show that would, without hyperbole, change my life. I had no idea what to expect. The only thing I recognized on the front of the DVD case was this blue police box. But that was just from spending a lot of time in a Books-A-Million and seeing all the knickknacks they had to offer. When I finally got the DVD, I can vividly remember watching the first 2 or 3 episodes, my dad coming in and telling me I should turn it off and go to bed. So I did what he said, turned it off, laid down for about 5 or 10 minutes, couldn't fall asleep, so naturally I got back up, turned it on, and finished that series that night. Sorry, Dad. The first series of Doctor Who was an entry point for me and a lot of other Whovians as well. It was an adventure into a new world with time travel, killer aliens, and lots of running. It created my absolute obsession with everything and anything to do with Who. Even 7 years after my first viewing in my childhood bedroom, I created this, my own little YouTube channel where I can talk about my favorite TV show. But even with all the other series and mediums that Doctor Who has appeared on, the first series will always be special. The moment that hooked me was this brief conversation between the Doctor and Rose. I was mesmerized. And not just from Billie Piper, but that did help. Instead, it was the Doctor's explanation of who he was. I had no idea what the words Time Lord or Gallifrey meant, but that didn't matter. Because with this short, seemingly meaningless scene, I knew exactly who this guy was. He tells Rose to remember when she was young and when she was told the Earth was spinning at thousands and thousands of miles, and how he could feel it. He could feel them spinning and falling in space on a small rock. But the rest of the episode isn't that great, to be honest. Like, it might be the fact that I've seen this episode so much, because this is the episode I show my friends if they're interested in the show. I had explained why I don't have any more friends. But the plastic Mickey bit? Yeah, not iconic. Of course, the standout of the series is... yeah, not them, but I can't hate on my baby green boys. But my real favorite story from Season 1 are the episodes The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances. This first 2-parter not only introduced the world to Captain Jack Harkness, who is one of my favorites, but was also the first time Stephen Moffat wrote for Doctor Who. Well, at least canon Doctor Who. This 2-parter left the biggest impact on me for one simple reason. It's real scary, guys! Like, really, really scary! I started watching the first episode at around midnight, and while I laid there on my bed, surrounded by darkness in my room with the only illumination coming from my TV, I began to inch my way closer to the edge of my bed. During the scarier bits, I would periodically turn my head, just to make sure there was nothing behind me. Scarier than any slasher or killer clown movie. But this wasn't all about the scares. Because I knew this doctor was damaged. The way he carried himself and reacted earlier to a Dalek showed that he had been through hell. He had seen so much death and carnage, most of it probably by his own hands. So when he put on that big, teethy smile and said with all the hope in the world,
"Just this once! Everybody lives!"
That is the most iconic 9 moment. Others would say it would be his coward or killer speech at the series finale, which they do have a point, but what planted those seeds was this small victory. He did it. He saved everyone. Just this once. Thank you so much, my fellow Whovians and Whoninots, for watching my latest video about Doctor Who. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you have any recommendations for what you'd like to see next, leave it in the comments section down below, and please consider subscribing.
You, my mummy.